Hey, Mr. Alberto. It's me, Christian Sylvester. Please bear with me. I pulled a couple all-nighters this week and my brain's a little dead, but this is my final video. And today we're going to talk about, first of all, the misconceptions and how it relates to science instruction. Misconceptions is important because a student might think that 5 pounds of gold or 5 pounds of gold is heavier than 5 pounds of feather, just because gold is obviously heavier usually, but if they're the same weight, then they're still gonna be 5 pounds. And how it's important is that way a student actually deep thinks in instruction, and they get to so if there's misconceptions in their science instruction, that gets them to deep think and actually get to know the theories and understand them. And then the progression of standards is very important because standards obviously start off with the simplest things and they adapt and they all pile on top of one another. So you need to teach them the material before so they can understand the new one and the new methods and theories, and they apply from their prior knowledge to the new knowledge. Like one good standard to talk about in school would be the states of matter. So you have solid, liquid, gas, and then the next standard is going to be what happens in the states of matter, what goes on, and that will adapt and change and be more sorry, I can't think, more complex, and they're just going to build onto their prior knowledge. That's a pretty good example of a standard that builds up. And then the 5E learning cycle is first there's engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. And then engage is to hook the student with prior knowledge. So an example could be asking open-minded questions, fact questions, even a video. The explore phase is engage with topic, productive struggle, draw out misconceptions, which could be dissecting flowers, attempt of labeling predictions. And then the explain phase is direct instruction concepts and terms, solidify new ideas, discussion and questioning. This reveals answers and defines terms, and examples could be like revealing answers and defining terms and foldables. The elaborate phase is use of new knowledge to extent learning and applying to the real world. So you could, for example, you could use your flip grid, try to solve your problem. Another example could be like how bees interact with the flower to spread seeds. And then another one's evaluate, which is check for understanding misconceptions and make sure it's authentic. And then that it could just be a rubric made for the elaborate phase, so or an assessment tool. And then the engineering design process is ask problems that are or questions that are from the real world. Examples could be like no pollution. I'm trying to make like no pollens for an apple tree. Like an example could be like the professor or the teacher could ask the students to find pollens for an apple tree. And another one could be, the other one's imagine, which is brainstorming solutions. For example, like they make bubble maps, like trying to find a solution. And then planning is like the best. You pick the best solution and then you make concrete steps. Example like a cotton ball and a drone. And then create is like follow through, get like hands on. It just could be like building stuff, or just just pretty much just building stuff. And then improve could be is evaluate results, what went wrong, what went right, how to make it better. An example could be like, it was too big, it was too slow, it was expensive. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the great semester. Hopefully I'll see you around campus next semester. I'm sure you will. Sure I will. And I hope you have a good Christmas break and happy holidays. Thank you. Sorry, not gone just yet. I forgot to talk about the feedback. What assignments do you feel is the most helpful and impactful, and why? I think first of all, it was just making a 5E, and then the fact we actually prepped it and delivered it in class to our own peers was pretty helpful and impactful, because you got, not only did you actually act and pretend you're in a real classroom, you got feedback from peers, and you'd see what went wrong, what went good, what could be fixed, but if you actually want to do it in a classroom, if things were too hard for even college students to do or achieve. I found that very, very, very helpful. And then actually the unit plan, that was actually very helpful, because it was so detailed, and there's so much work and effort that had to be put into it, which is nice, because that way we're getting broke into shape to make lesson plans like that either in the near future, or at least be detailed when we have substitute teachers coming in for the day. What assignments do you feel was not helpful, impactful? I don't really think there wasn't any. I mean, the video, or this video, I mean, I understand like the whole, sorry, I can't think, the whole, I understand like the meaning behind it, which it's great, honestly. It's just I'm very awkward on camera, and yeah, and yep, that's it. Thank you. Hope you have some happy holidays and eat lots of food.